Okay. Product. Shrimple Dimple, Koth map. Yeah, I'm just gonna start with mids first. Demo man, of course, wherever you spawn, you want to get as close to this door as you can. I find that typically putting a sticky like about this far and then jumping and waiting to dead it until you like almost hit the ground works pretty well. So that's kind of weak, but you get the idea. And then kind of you should be buffed the entire time by your medic. Players crouch so that your demo can actually get buffed by your med. And then you come out here, and you have a choice to also jump over this, but that's really aggressive, and you're probably gonna die pretty fast. Most demos just kind of walk it all the way. They charge a sticky, they come here, you know, and then they kind of just shoot this, blah blah blah, fight the scouts, whatever. Um, it's pretty important that you get that rollout down. So you know, just make sure to do that. Other players, you're kind of just walking forward. Your soldiers should be whipping your heavy. Should try to get a whip or two on your medic or your sniper, but just focus on getting your heavy if you can't get anything else. Pretty much everyone goes out main here. They kind of come out here this way. And then you kind of split off depending on who you are. Sniper, you have the option, or Sniper has the option to come out cliff, right? Come out all the way over here. In which case, then your heavy might want to go with him, or at least someone. Um, I don't think you should be coming out right here. I'd rather you walk through main with your team, get a buff, and then just walk through here. So if you want to end on concrete, just walk through main with your medic. Medic, you got two options. Either you risk it by going under this bridge. You might get shot. You might get bled. You'll probably get shot and bled, actually. So it's a little bit risky. One thing my med did is he'd buff players up to here, blah blah blah, right? And then he would just go through house and come out this door. It takes 2 extra seconds. You might get a little bit less buffs, but you do just die way less often. So it's definitely an option you can do. Um, Now in general on mid fights, what's typically going to happen is your flank is going to be on this concrete side. Usually it's going to be your heavy soldier and sometimes engineer. It depends on who wants to play cliff, wants to play concrete, but engineer here a lot of the times. So those three classes kind of hung around this area. And then kind of through main is going to be demo, scout, pyro, med, sniper depending on where he is. If engineer is playing on cliff, then he's going to be, on the cliff wrangling a gun. It's pretty passive. You might want to just, go onto concrete anyways. Um, but I mean, yeah, most players are going to be congregating around this middle area of the map. Spy, Spy, you have a lot of options to try and cross. You could go through this left side. It's pretty risky. It's really hard to cross a spy. I've seen spies just run Dead Ringer on mid fight just so they could get through, and it's okay, but yeah, you just it's kind of hard to figure out how to cross. Um, But anyways, yeah, the way the mid fight is actually fought is first of all, scout on pretty much every Koth map is the combo. Okay, scout shouldn't be flanking every now and then, like all the time, trying to get random picks. Your job as a scout is to protect your demo, or protect your med, make sure they don't get ran down. So with your demo, right, scout demo and then pyro kind of behind, reflecting and like, making sure no one gets stabbed. You guys kind of fight as like one unit, you know, demo kind of trapping off areas. Um, Piece of advice for demo is don't just single det. Don't just do this, right? Don't hold right click and left click at the same time. You want to like lay down a minefield and try to det like 2 or 3 at a time when people step on them, right? If you do this, right, you just lay down a minefield, then they can't walk anywhere, right? They're gonna take damage. But if you single det, they can dodge every single one. So just, be careful of that. Your scout, of course, kind of playing side to side with your demo. If he's like kind of on this left side, you might want to be on this right side. You might want to be on the rock. You're just making sure their scout can't kill your demo, and that you can follow up on your demo's damage. Your demo should be calling who he's shooting. If he just did 200 damage to a soldier over here, your scout should be the one to hear that and like pounce on him. Um, Medic is you're gonna get stabbed a lot on product, to be honest. I'm of the opinion that it really is your fault if you get stabbed at the end of the day, right? Your teammates are just there to mitigate those chances. Um, you
Alright,
should spy
thanks.
check yourself. Like, don't just be like, oh, my pyro didn't spy check for me. No, dude, you gotta spy check yourself. You gotta be really careful a lot of things. You got two options. Pretty passive is kind of over here in this area. You're not gonna get sniped. You can get bombed pretty easily, especially up here. It's pretty good if your heavy's coming cliff, but it's not that good if he isn't. The other option is kind of floating around this rock. You can get a lot of good heals in. You can get allow your teams to do a lot more damage. But of course, it's a little bit riskier in the spy department. Decloak here, here, there, up here. There's a lot of decloaks. Um, Now, while the combo, so demo, scout, pyros, and meds, while you guys are trying to fight this space here, you know, I'd say like kind of this line right here is like where you want to fight. You don't want them to walk past this line, right? Um, the flank shouldn't is playing really passive on product. Um, I find that if you're a soldier and you just sit up here all day, just literally just not allowing them to walk through this, you're doing your job perfectly well. If as a heavy you're sitting on his head glitch and you're not allowing them to walk through, you're also doing your job perfectly well. I don't want you trying to run through this mid, trying to like, save the world, unless your team as a whole is walking. Or you only want to do as much as your combo is doing. Um, a solo flank fight is just gonna suck. It's just gonna lose every single time. You really need a pressure from your combo, right? And your combo needs a pressure from you, but you can't do it on your own. Um, so I'd err on the side of like passiveness as a flank, right? I'd stick to like here as a heavy main. You have like the whole review. So that's you have that whole in-depth thing. But as a reminder, just kind of
You
stay
said
around here, stay around these corners.
um
You just want to make sure none of their team can walk past this line or
I
like this
gotta
line.
I got a question. So you said scouts a part of like the combo. Does that change any else about the combo?
Does it change any what?
Like anything else, or is it just the same
Um,
combo with scout?
well, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's the combo is on product at the very least. The combo is pretty much just like pyro, demo, scout, medic, and then heavy if you're cliff, but heavy's more of a flank class on product. Um, and so you're like a dedicated combo class. Like that's your job. You should be getting a lot of heals. Scouts don't normally get a lot of heals, but you should be in the top 3 or 4 of heals. Like you really should be getting beamed all the time. Because a 185 health scout is incredibly powerful. So yeah, it changes your priority, right? Like your medic, your top 2 priorities as medic is saving your demo and saving your scout. That's kind of what you want to do. So yeah, you really turn it into a power class on product because I mean all of this as a scout, it's just kind of like scout territory. It's kind of like Peru, but yeah, the dynamic does change a lot. One thing I will say, heavy does have the option of coming cliff. That does change a lot of things. It means that your scout can play a little bit more flank. Heavy when he's up here on cliff, you're just kind of watching for spies first of all, because you have really good sight lines, and you're also protecting your demo from getting ran at. So if they start walking at you like on the point,
Uh,
you can like
oh,
walk out here and shoot them.
oh,
Um, and you can also just kind of run it down on dog bread. This is the call out dog bread. So you could literally just run it down here, right? And you should be begging for heals if you're doing this, but if you just run it down, you can get a lot of space, and your team should be walking with each other. Um, I'll say this, one piece of advice for Koth in general is 9 dumb monkeys doing the same thing is better than 9 smart monkeys doing different things. You guys should be communicating, you should be talking like, hey, I'm going in now, can we also walk in? Or like, let's push in 3, and then everyone walks at the same time. If you see a really smart play and you want to do it, but your team is just not ready for it, then you need to slow down a little bit. Play with your team, right? If you see your team walking forward, walk forward with them. That kind of stuff. Try not to bait each other, just play off of each other. But, yeah. Any questions before I just recap it real quick and then move on?
So
Pretty
it's
simple map,
just
to be honest.
like be patient, you know.
Yep. Combo could definitely be a lot less patient, but yes. Just as a real quick recap, demo, scouts, pyros, med, and sometimes NG or sniper kind of be in this middle area. You're switching between going left and right here. You're denying them from walking on the point and walking past this line. You need to call focus fire, right? If their demo is right here, you need to say, all right, shoot demo, everybody shoot demo, right? You need to be calling that. Flank play pretty passive. You're just denying them from having this space. Um, it's a sort of if I can't have it, you can't have it either kind of scenario where you're not really trying to grab it yourself. You're just not letting them grab it. Man, fuck on my way. Um, I didn't talk about sniper, but sniper sightlines, there's a lot, right? If you guys don't know, this is the China call out. This is a god angle. You can see pretty much everything from up here. This is cliff. This is pixel right here, as you can kind of see that. Um, but yeah, that's just a quick recap on it. Demo, do you know how to do the rollout? Is demo here?
Yeah, I can do it.
You know how to do rollout? Hello?
Yeah, I can do it.
Yeah.
Okay, alright, you got the rollout then. Okay, yeah, that's mid fights. Flank be patient, combo, tell your team when to walk. Alright, so now I'm gonna talk about kind of holding the point. So let's say you cap the point, now you have it, how do you hold it? 80% of the time, you're going to be pretty passively holding product, and every now and then you can be pretty aggressive. Because the sniper sightlines on this map are really oppressive, it kind of punishes like active aggressive play like a lot more than usual. So you don't want to be too aggressive, right? I'd say the line is kind of like past this, I guess, right? On kind of just all the way through. You really don't want to be like past this half point unless you're trying to do something specifically, but moving on to how you actually hold this. Most of the time, most honestly, holding product kind of looks like an extended mid fight. Your demos, your scouts, your pyros, you're just gonna hang around the usual areas where you're kind of here, right? You're shooting, you're spamming that. Maybe you're spamming this instead. You're just kind of holding this space, right? Your medic can passively sit in this corner. He could sit kind of behind this rock. Probably the most aggressive you're gonna get is, at least when doing like a passive hold, is like being up to here. You could trap this off. You could stop players from walking onto this left side up on this cliff. Your scout, your pyro can be with you, denying bombs, all of that. But again, that's still not very aggressive. That's just on the point. Flank, I mean, pretty much the same thing as a mid fight, right? Soldiers kind of being up here. You can also, be up here, be around. It just this general area, just shooting into here, right? Shooting that, because they're gonna want to build a sentry gun here. So if you're just rocketing this all day, then you're doing your job. Heavy, same exact thing. You're just playing pretty passive. You're just waiting for them to walk into you. That's your strength, right? You don't want to peek them unless they're like they're distracted, right? Like if your team is walking, that's when you can peek them. Um, but most of the time you're just playing pretty passive. Yeah, I mean, it's holding on this point is really just like an extended mid fight. It's uh, the same thing essentially. Um, but there are times to get aggressive on this map. Now, you got a couple options. I think the best one is probably just gonna be holding on this concrete. If you want to be aggressive, like maybe you have an Uber and they don't, you can hold concrete, right? Your heavy can sit up here, you could deny this space. Your demo just sits here, just kind of spams this, spam this. Your scout can rotate all over the place. When you're wanting to hold aggressive, you're doing it so that they can't even have like this basic space, and it just wastes more time. If you hold aggressive but wipe, right? You're still winning. You're still causing time to tick, right, on that clock. Because that's how you win Koth. You don't win Koth by getting 3 Ubers. You win Koth by running the time down by 3 minutes. So like, don't be scared to be aggressive and die for something, right? If it's running the clock, if you spawn camp them and you die at their spawn, that's still like 20, 30 seconds where they're doing nothing in spawn. You know, that's way worth it. Um, yeah. During Ubers, it's gonna be a little bit different. Usually they're gonna be Ubering into you. You don't really want to Uber into them when you're holding the point. Most of the time it'll be demos and pyros kind of in it. So, you know, Uber start, the demo's right here, he's shooting you guys. Your demo gets flashed, then your pyro just comes in and, you know, stuffs it. It's like a stuff war between the pyro and the other pyro. Um, and then depending on, you know, whether they get stuff well, whether they kill other people who aren't shiny, that kind of determines like who ends where. You you don't want them to end the Uber on your side, right? So if they Uber into you, and once that Uber's ending and they're kind of here, and it's not a good idea. That's just not a good thing for you. They have a lot more space on you. They have a lot more pressure, and you'll notice that your team would just kind of crumble because of that. Um, um, yeah, they'll likely not Uber into concrete, but if they do, it's really easy to kite that. Like if you oh whoops. If you're up here as a soldier and you see that they're Ubered or you hear that they're Ubered, just leave. Like straight up just leave. Same thing with heavy, right? If you're sitting here and you see that they're Ubered, just pull out your fists, alright, and just leave. And then you just waste their time, and now their Uber is just worse. It didn't accomplish as much. Um, yeah, and if you're on cliff as heavy, same thing, right? You could just wait up here. A lot of times they won't even notice you're up here. Right, they're Ubering through, blah blah blah, whatever. You could just stay revved right here, right? Make sure you don't get stabbed, and just like you know, once the Uber ends, you kill the demo, kill the scout, kill the med, do whatever you want. Right? You usually have crit heals, so you'll be at 450 or something. Um, but yeah, that's kind of the way it's gonna go. Make sure Pyro's actually pushing them back. Make sure Demo's trying to shoot other people, right? You know, trying to get damage in so they have to flash a lot. Your heavy should not be getting into the Ubers. He should be getting into the post Ubers. Unless the clock is at 0 seconds. That's when heavy is a good Uber. When the clock is at 0. But other than that, you want to Uber other people. If you have an advantage kind of Uber, like maybe they're right here and you know they don't have Uber, but you do, it's a completely viable thing to just run your scout into them and kill their med. It's very viable. It's really fun. It's really fun as a scout to just get Ubered. So that's, you know, that's one thing about it. Your goal is just to kill, 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 right? But yeah, just like other cough maps, don't be super afraid about just Ubering all nilly willy, or even just not really caring about Uber. If your medic dies like all the time, doesn't get Uber, but every single time he dies, the enemy team wipes, it doesn't matter that you're not getting Uber. You're still winning, right? A lot of low div players think of the Uber as the win, but it's not the win. It is the tool to win, right? And that's just a really important skill to learn. You know, prioritize killing and getting space, not just getting to Uber. Getting to Uber is a way to get kill and get space. All right. Any questions about Ubers and kind of holding the point before I move on? Okay. Take that as a no. Um.
I would like to say
Yeah,
something to chat.
yes.
Hmm?
Um, something I wanted to comment on earlier. Like this is like early, way in the review, and I'm sorry for bringing this up now. I just remembered.
Spit it out, boy. Yeah.
When you said you don't really know how Spy gets around, isn't this crate good?
Yeah. I mean,
Because you can
here's the
go
thing.
up here, go
Here's yeah,
here.
yeah. Pretty much every way to cross on during a mid fight or really in the game in general as spy, they kind of all suck equally, right? The biggest thing that will happen to you if you try to go through these crates is number one, you might just bump into their spy. Like straight up, because this is like one crate, you can very easily just bump into their spy and then you get gunned down. Random pipes coming over this wall, right? Like if their demo's here and he's trying to pipe someone over here, right? That's gonna go to you. Um, there's a lot of collateral. I'd say this is probably one of the more consistent spots you can try to cross through. I would
Okay.
not try to cross through here right? Just because it's so tight, like it's even tighter than that. This looks like it'd be really good to cross, but the thing is, pyros just their flames all over the place, so it's kind of aids to actually try and cross it. Um, yeah, I
Could
mean,
just play hit scan on mids.
sorry.
Could just play hit scan and spy on mids.
Absolutely, it's a thing on Asheville for a reason. Because crossing is like kind of hard in Asheville. A lot of spies just play Den Ringer, and what they do is they pop the Den Ringer, they run to the demo's face, and they just shoot him to death. And guess what? That works. That's a completely viable thing you could do.
Mm, that's
But
something
yeah,
to
if you want to
actually try.
cross, it's probably gonna be like somewhere around here that you're gonna be able to do it. You'll catch a pipe very often. That's just the nature of trying to cross on this map, right? Um, I don't know some like super secret spot, but I also know that it is just kind of aids to cross on this map, unlike other maps. But um, yeah, is that satisfactory?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Just quick recap. Kind of the same thing as mid fights when you're holding, right? Passive here, denying space. Like kind of the log. Treat the log as like an imaginary line, right? So deny that space. During Uber is gonna be your demo pyro most of the time. Pyro denying it, right? Blasting them out. Other players should be like kind of leaving, right? Making sure they don't get tagged. Make sure they don't get picked. If you have an advantage Uber, you could take your scout in and try and kill their med, but yeah, it's pretty one-dimensional. It's very simple. It's the reason why this is a really good pug map because it's super simple. All right, moving on to now to like trying to actually attack this point. Guess what? It's almost the same thing. Wow, who would have thought? So, just kind of like a mid-fight again. Your combos mostly around this area. You're pushing these angles, right? Pushing these angles as demo, as scout. Um, you might actually want to take your sniper up here, right? Get a player up here with him. It is either your engineer or your heavy's job to sit on your sniper throughout the game. If your heavy wants to sit on cliff more, which is completely viable, I think you should learn cliff before you learn concrete. Then it is your job to sit on your sniper and make sure something bad doesn't happen to him. Now, how do you sit on someone and make sure they don't get stabbed? Let's say their sniper is right here. Or sorry, your sniper is right here. Right, he's picking this angle, right? He's looking at concrete. You don't sit here and you don't you don't shoot all over the area, try to catch the spy out. You sit right behind him and you chump block that stab. Right? You don't have to move, you don't have to spy check like actively with a gun. If you have a minigun, obviously you can do it pretty easily, right? You have like basically infinite ammo. But if you're any other class, just sit behind the sniper. Or sit behind the medic. Whoever it is. That is how you spy check. Because, like, what's he gonna do? Decloak and 3-tap him while you're in the way? No, he's not gonna be able to do that. So, yeah. I've had an invite pyro do reviews for my team, and he told me, like, he has to teach invite players how to actually spy check. Right? You just sit on them and make sure, like, you physically block them from getting stabbed. Um, so, there you go. Now you guys know how to actually spy check for a sniper. Um, Heavy, you should be doing that if your sniper's up here. Engineer, if your heavy is busy on concrete. Your sniper, that's my mother in the background. Your sniper should be like asking for help, right? I'm trying to drill it into like Titano's head that like he can't just like go angles and not talk about it. He has to say like, Heavy, come with me. Engie, come with me. Like, help me like peek this, because he's way more dangerous than other people.
Something. This is the NG, by the way. I usually just get set up and then immediately go to the sniper. So,
Yeah, there you
like,
go. You're doing your job.
I think
I usually let Heavy do his thing because I know Heavy Man he can pull his own.
Yeah. But I mean, both classes work. I'd say on other COTS and other like offensive payload maps, it is usually one of you two guys doing it, right? So, both of you can do it quite well. It's obviously a little bit more flexible for engineer to do it, but You can apply it to other maps. You know, a good example is Vigil, right? On Vigil 3rd and 2nd, if you're as the heavy, you can just sit on the sniper all day and you're doing your job really well. But
I have one question.
yeah, go ahead.
If spy is like really focusing our combo, should our scout chase the spy?
Yes. Your scout. Who do you guys think is the best spy checker in the game?
Pyro?
NG.
Heavy.
What's the answer, Scout?
It's the scout. Yeah. Now, why is it the scout and why is it not the pyro? Now, pyro's really good at killing the spy, right? You're in this area, you spy check all of this, right? You're really good, right? If you catch him in the area, he's as good as dead, right? You have air blast, so he literally cannot stab anyone. But here's the thing: the thing that like I just talked about earlier, the thing that denies spy is not those flame particles; it's vision. If you stand right here and you look everywhere, the spy cannot decloak anywhere on the map, except for these really shitty angles. Now, who's able to see the most in the game? Players with really high mobility. Because soldier is usually locked to one spot in the map, although you can jump around a lot. Um, Obviously he's like number 2, but scout is the one who should be getting the most spy kills. You look at the logs.
I do notice that a lot.
Yeah,
I
you
do
look at the
notice
logs of invite games, you'll notice Scout has like so many spy kills. Why? Because you're bouncing around everywhere. Like, you know, if you're a spy and you're trying to decloak on a heavy, he's really slow, right? Maybe he doesn't see you around that corner in time. But if you're a scout and you're 2 times speed, you walk around that corner and your spy just has less time to react, right? So, scout.
I mostly like catch them on the way out as well.
Yeah, like you're just so good at chasing him. You 2-shot him if you have good aim, 3-shot if you have bad aim. Really bad aim, then you know. Yeah,
I
usually
usually 4-shot.
usually
to be
you're
honest,
just
but-
gonna like kill him like instantly, pretty much. You deny so much vision. You could call him out like pretty much immediately. And a lot of spies disguise a scout. So if you see another scout, you don't even have to think, oh, that's a spy. You just know it's a spy. So I already forgot what the original question even was. I'm gonna be honest with you. Oh, like what do you do if your spy's like always on your combo?
Yeah, should
Kill
scout
him.
chase is what I asked.
Yeah. You should be the one killing spy a lot. Like I said, your job is to protect your demo like med. Well, killing the spy is protecting your demo med, right? You don't want to chase him literally all game, searching every corner. But if you see him, go get that free log. That free log boost. Go get it. It's yours, you know, like fucking unleash the dogs. But I mean, yeah, you shouldn't be having too much. I'd say if you're having a lot of trouble with spy killing combo members, move your heavy to Cliff. Just have him play here. The reason why Cliff Heavy is good is because you have so much spy sightline, and you can protect your demo if someone pounces on him, right? So it's just super easy, right? If you just sit here, you spy check this corner, this, and like this every now and then, where can spy decloak? Nowhere, right? The only place you could decloak is in the house, and if your pyro's right here, he's not gonna actually get anything, at least most of the time. But yeah, if you're having trouble, just sit your heavy on Cliff. Scout, try to focus spy a little bit more. Try to make sure he doesn't get in on your team. Move around a lot. Turn around like all the time as Scout. Because you know, you can catch out a lot of spies.
Yeah, you usually have time to look
What,
around.
baby?
Again.
But yeah, anything else before I move on?
What, baby? What?
Someone's on the phone call.
Lex, mute.
Now, where was I? What was I talking about? I just finished talking about like offensive, right?
You were talking about
Yes.
stuff.
Just talking about offense.
Yeah, I was talking about offense. Offensive Ubers are, again, it's just another mid fight, except instead of everybody trying to pile in at once, it's the Uber exchange, and then everybody piles in at once. Right, you just gotta wait a couple seconds. You know, again, pyro demo, you focus on just blasting them back. Other players try not to get picked. Spy is gonna want to go for stabs after the Uber ends. So you know, make sure to watch for that. Yeah. Again, I mean, it's just the same thing, right? You hold this, blah blah blah, whatever. Um, but yeah. Um, Sacking on product is pretty basic again. You got a lot of options, right? A lot of players like to do it from cliff, right? So, you know, your demo, your soldier, you guys get buffed. Your demo kind of jumps out like this. Usually just one sticky will do, right? That was a little bit too high. Uh, Soldier can kind of jump off of this wall, right? And then sort of do this, right? The other rocket coming here. Other players are just a distraction, right? Your scout is also walking in. He's probably gonna die like instantly. If you
I do
want,
a lot.
right, like 5 seconds before, or like 3 seconds before the sack starts. If you're just a class, like you're like an engineer, you're a heavy, you're a pyro. Just come out here and just be dead. What I mean by that is force the heavy to shoot you. You know, force the demo to shoot you, so that he doesn't shoot the soldier flying through the air at their
Just
med.
take their attention.
Yeah, take their attention. Kind of the same thing on like Sacks on Asheville, where Heavy could just walk through Shutter, do like 50 damage and die, but it means that the Heavy is shooting him and not the flying soldier, right? It's worth it. Um, if you really want Pyro, you can run Jetpack on Sacks and mid fights. You can do it. Proof: my Pyro last season, who ran Jetpack on Pyro on an official and went like double positive KD. He would just get a lot of kills during these sack waves.
Alright, so if I do that, uh, my team can't complain because the invite player did it.
Yeah. I mean, what else are you gonna do during a sack? Like, it's just another guy flying at the med. Like, yeah, I wouldn't.
It's
I think
like
it's a fear
having
tactic.
it's like having two soldiers.
Yeah, it's like having like one soldier and one like shittier soldier.
well, one soldier that does. Well, I mean, if I were to
One-
equip Dragon's Fury, it's basically like equivalent to soldier, just
Just run flamethrower. To be honest, you could even run backburner, right? Because you're not gonna survive that long, so you don't need the ammo. And because the medic is, you know, getting bombed, he might actually just turn around, right? Um, on the sack wave, you are more likely to fight players who are not looking at you. So backburner is actually useful when you're sacking with the jetpack. Um, and you want to go after your demo soldier because they can hear you and you have double knockback, as well as the fact that you cause a lot of chaos, but only when they don't shoot you down. If they shoot you down, you do nothing. Triple sticky jump. Yeah, sack wave's really easy. Everybody fucking die, soldier, demo, scout, and maybe pyro, run at the med. Someone should go back to spawn with your med and build. Scout can do it with the Boston Basher, NG can do it with the Wrangler and the Mini Sentry. Heavy can do it with the Fist of Steel. Any explosive class, but obviously they're gonna be the ones sacking, so not them. But yeah, you get to stay in spawn, build your Uber while that's all happening. Okay. Really, I know I like spent a lot of time, but you know, I wanted to give you guys something in depth. I'm gonna upload this later. I'm gonna put chapters just so you could skip the specific parts. But any final questions before I wrap it all up and just do a very quick recap? This could be as specific as you want.
I don't know. Scout scrub's easy.
Last season, my team kind of had a rule to like basically never go through main and always go through valley when we were regressing or on mids or just anything. Basically, just ignore main. What's your opinion on that?
I think that's not a bad opinion to have, to be honest. Main is really dangerous for a lot of reasons, right? Not only is it still a sniper sightline, but like, look at these pipes. Like, that's gonna hit or kill somebody, like, very consistently.
Yeah, 'cause, like the first thing I do is put stickies there, so that's
Yeah.
free damage every time through.
It's definitely a good idea. The sniper silent is about as bad anyways on the valley, right? I think most teams do just walk the valley anyways, but you know, if you see that like maybe they're really far back or their sniper is dead, then you can walk through main, right? It is a little bit faster. I'd say this. Engineer, heavy, sniper, do not walk through main. Why are you killing me? Do not walk through main. You guys are gonna die. And you're not gonna accomplish anything. Especially if you're heavy. If you're heavy and you walk through main, all you're doing is causing your team to have less heals. That's all you're accomplishing. But, yeah. That's satisfactory?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Shit.
Anything else? Alright, I'm gonna take that as a no. Just a quick recap. Combo kind of in this area, peeking his right side, peeking his left side. Make sure this line, right? Pretend a log is like an imaginary line of where you don't want them to cross, right? If they cross that, that means you really need to try and kill them. Focus fire, you know, make sure your demo, your scout, anyone who's doing a lot of damage, make sure you're calling who you're shooting at so that your team can also shoot at them, right? It doesn't have to be your demo. Heavy can do it, scout can do it, anyone can do it as long as it's just someone who's doing damage, and is in, a forward position.
Shooting PP who?
What?
Wait.
You said nonsense.
Yeah, that was fucking gibberish.
I forgot.
Okay.
Yes, you can shoot people in this game, Pinto.
On flank, you're pretty passive. Soldier is gonna be up here, kind of spamming these areas. Heavy, it's kind of same thing. Play these corners. You're just not letting them walk into your team. You want to push these areas, or like at least lock it out a little bit more as your team is trying to get aggressive, right? If you're like right here, you're shooting their demo, and your demo's walking right side, then they have to look two directions, and that's just really hard to fight. Heavy, try and stay away from walking into here unless their soldier is for sure dead. Soldier can do it, but heavy, just don't walk. Don't walk in here unless their soldier's dead. Spy, you want to just focus sniper pretty much all game. If he's getting bodyguarded, then see what other picks you can get. Even if you just annoy the sniper, even if you just shoot one revolver shot and like leave, you're fucking annoying him, right? That's something. Yeah. Engineer, you kind of have a choice depending on like what you want to do with your heavy. If you think your heavy's got it on concrete, then you can play more main, more cliff, right? You can kind of wrangle this all game, watch your sniper all game. You can do that. But if your heavy's going cliff, then you want to be on concrete because your soldier cannot be alone. Just have a sentry here all game. Just fucking wrangled. But yeah, pretty much every push or hold looks the same exact way. The most aggressive you're gonna get is probably up to here, right? Kind of shooting this. Or onto concrete, right? Kind of shooting this. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to reiterate. It's a really simple map. I managed to make it long, but oh well.
So say I'm medic and I'm being bombed by the pyro and the soldier. What if that's continually happening? What should I be doing as sort of like a reaction to that play?
So, alright. I'll go in layers. First, if you are getting bombed or pressured or, just, hunted by someone, it should be your scout who's shooting that player, right? Making sure that they can't just do it for free. And leading you out. If you notice, oh, things are going to hell, right?
Lease the scout and get a
Yeah,
dodge.
you lease on the scout. You tell them we're leaving. Say where you're leaving. We're leaving main. We're leaving valley. We're leaving cliff. Just say where you're going. This goes for any map where you need to leave. Because otherwise you guys go different directions and you're like, oh, what the hell? Right, so that's kind of in the moment. That's what you're doing. I'm assuming if they're bombing you, that means either their med just died, they have some kind of disadvantage, or... Actually, yeah, that's pretty much it. They have some kind of disadvantage, or their med just died. In which case, you should already know that they're gonna bomb you. You shouldn't ever really be surprised by the fact that they want to bomb you. You should be really prepared for it, and so should your team. For example, they're not always gonna bomb you every single mid fight. The soldier might, but not everyone is just gonna do that, because then they wipe and they just lose the point. Um, a good tip is if your team kills the enemy med, all of a sudden you gotta play like a bitch. All right, you're getting the fuck out of dodge, because a good team, the second their medic dies, they're doing this. Oh, our medic died. Everybody going. Right, and then fucking two pipes you. If you watch invite players, you'll notice that the second their med dies, they just pounce. Because what else are they gonna do? They lost their med, right? And usually, if you lose med pretty early like that, right, you're just gonna lose the fight. So you might as well get something out of it. So you shouldn't be getting surprised by sack waves. As a medic, it is your responsibility to know when they want to sack. If you know they don't have Uber and you have advantage, you need to prepare for the fact that they're gonna bomb you. Because aside from the scout leasing you out, you can't do anything, right? I mean, you can surf it, but that's hard, right? You're not gonna hit it every single time. You know what you can hit every single time? Leaving before they even sack, right? If you just, if you come out wide, all the way out here, right? And because, their medic just died, you just start to leave with your scout. They try bombing you, and they're gonna end up on cliff, and there's probably players on them. If you want, you can make this call. The second their med dies, or the second they wipe, or whatever, just call everybody protect your med. And just have Wall Maria up. Mini sentries, demos, heavies, pyros, scouts. Just don't even allow them to touch you. You need to prepare for that.
Right.
This goes for any map where they want to sack onto you. Even payload defenses. Right? You need to pay attention to, when do they really want me dead? Right? Because they want to kill you all the time, yeah, but, they don't need to all the time. Is that good?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, anything else? Oh, do you guys know all the callouts? Or anybody here not know callouts?
There's China, there's Japan, there's Concrete, there's Cliff, there's Valley, Main, and those are the most important ones because you're never gonna go past those.
Yeah. One good one is dog bread. I don't know why it's called
Oh yeah,
dog
dog
bread.
bread.
It's a good call. If someone's walking dog bread, that's really important. You really want to kill them.
Is China in the house or is China?
China's the little sniper spot.
Right here.
Like,
Oh, okay.
I forgot about demo review entirely. I mean, review.
this is map review.
Won't he be making like a video or something?
Yeah,
Yep. Okay.
I'll be uploading it. Alright, cool. I think that's it then. Unless anyone has any burning last questions, I'm gonna end the recording now.
Okay.
Going once, going twice. And that's my record button.